Alright, today we're checking out Akala, The Journey featuring Mike Righteous. Let's get into it.
Isn't the purpose of life to give your life some purpose? Chasing his dreams and his goals to only find they're worthless. In this eternal circus, cycle turning, circle spins around the fire burning. We're searching for higher learning, distracted by higher earning, yearning for more than what's on the surface.
Okay. The way he started
I like
off,
it already.
The way he started off. Isn't the purpose of life to give your life some purpose? Is it something chasing these dreams and goals just to find out they're worthless?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
What does that mean to me?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
But I mean, okay, so the purpose of life is to give life purpose. I agree with that. It's like we don't know any just purpose by default. Like we have to give it purpose. And yes, the dreams and goals are in and of themselves worthless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like by themselves. But I mean, you have to give it purpose. You have to give it meaning. And a lot of goals are very superficial.
Yeah. That's
it's like, oh, once I get this much money, I can get a Gucci bag and this kind of things. You know, oh, I want to be famous for the sake of being famous to satisfy my ego. You know what I mean? A lot of them are worthless.
Right.
I mean, there are admirable goals too. It just depends on your goals. But I feel like he's speaking on the goals, the worthless goals.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, because then he talked about getting caught up in materialism or whatever.
Like some people have goals that have meaning. Oh, I want to impact 1 million people. Oh, I want to feed 1,000 homeless people this year. You know, some people have goals that are more meaningful. To me, the more meaningful goals have to do with other people and helping people, basically.
Right.
But all right, let's get into the
I
song. We barely started. But yeah,
this is
basically impact humanity in a positive way.
Right.
Versus an egoic goal. You know what I mean?
In this eternal circus, cycle turning, circle spins around the fire burning. We're searching for higher learning, distracted by higher earning, yearning for more than what's on the surface. What if I told you that inside you were perfect? Would you believe me or say I'm crazy, man? What's your verdict? The furthest from the battlefield is always nothing more.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I just want to pause it every 2
in
this
words.
song, every 2
every
words,
phrase.
I want to pause it and be like, ooh,
right,
ooh,
right,
ooh.
right.
You know what I mean? But he said, what if on something about the inside told you were perfect? Like, ooh, you know what I mean?
A message.
Like that's fact. That's 100% facts. But people don't feel perfect because social media and just compare. Even without social media, just comparing yourself to people in your circle and this and that. But we're all unique. You know what I mean? We all have a unique purpose, even though life is kind of purposeless. But with our unique gifts and talents, the meaning we're going to find that is fulfilling is going to be unique, like a unique purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that you're perfectly suited for.
Right.
Regardless of who looks better than you on social media, who has a better car, and this and that. You know what I mean?
And regardless of what people tell you those talents and gifts are for, and so you set a timeline in your head to be something that they told you should be, when in reality you're supposed to create something brand new that they haven't even conceived.
Right. It's like you may not have done well in school because you're not supposed to go that route and just work a job, which is nothing wrong with a job. That might not be your path. You might be needing to create something new. So you don't have the gifts and talents to just succeed through that standard route. You know what I mean?
Or you might be parenting like the next world leader.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you literally might be their parent.
Right.
Which is epic. Oh, I love it. This is good.
Right. I mean, we can make this video an hour long. Easy.
But
we're not going
3
to.
hours. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to listen.
5, 6 hours.
We're going to listen a little bit and talk a little less.
No, we're not.
You that inside you were perfect. Would you believe me or say I'm crazy, man? What's your verdict? The furthest from the battlefield is always loving war. The one who's on the front line, well, he ain't sure. Don't appreciate all your blessings, you need to struggle more. Might have the fullest plate and live amongst the poor. If you got a heart full of hate, then you...
Wait, real quick.
You gotta do it.
Don't appreciate all your blessings. You need to
struggle more.
Ain't
Is
that
not the truth?
Ain't it the truth? Oh my goodness. Oh my. I mean, struggle definitely builds character, as they say. It makes you way more appreciative.
Hellas.
You know what I mean?
Hellas.
we've had things that we were not appreciative of.
Oh my God.
Until we hit a low point. And like, dang, life was so good and we took it for granted.
And then we took our low point for granted and life was like, oh.
It kept getting worse.
It kept getting worse.
It's almost like until you appreciate your life, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs and a lot deep downs. You know what I mean? So it's like.
Lower lows.
Yeah, like we've been humbled by our circumstances so much. But yes, we're going to listen. We're not even a minute in and the video's already
epic.
long. All right.
I knew this collab
Good recommendation.
From the battlefield is always loving war. The one who's on the front line, well he ain't assured. Don't appreciate all your blessings, you need to struggle more. Might have the fullest plate and live amongst the poor. If you got a heart full of hate, then you were just as flawed. What if the journey is the destination? What you reckon if your present is the present? Will you grab it with every second or would you still wreck it? Given a second chance, now that we've even said it. Nah, we ain't no better. In fact, we're just as reckless. And we ain't got the answers. These are just our questions. Journey with us. Journey as we ask these questions. Journey with us. Journey with us.
That's a good pause point right there.
I love it.
Like Mike Righteous had said, worth the destination or worth the journey is the destination or something to that effect. You know what I mean? It's like, is where you're going worth the journey?
Oh.
Because the journey's always a lot harder than you think it's gonna be.
Oh my gosh,
you know what I mean?
harder, yeah.
But it's like your destination or your goal is like that worth it. You're willing to go through the mud. You know what I mean?
Right. And yeah.
But I like how this is set up, you know what I mean? How they're going back and forth.
Right.
And I like the video because they're like, they got their books. It's like they're having a little think tank, you know what I mean? A little epic think tank.
And then Akala's like, these are just our questions. We're on a journey too.
Right.
I love that because at first I'm listening to it like they're telling us, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, it's like collaborative. Like we're in it with them.
Right. They're kind of like thinking out loud for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So cool.
Ask these questions. Journey with us. Journey with us. Journey with us. Journey is we're learning lessons.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Journey with us. Journey with us. Journey with us. We're just asking questions.
Oh.
Is this what they're waiting for? We give it to them straight and raw. Is this what they're waiting for? Is what they've been waiting for? Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Yeah, I've been living in a prison in my mind. You
Hold up, before we get into this,
Yes, we are ready.
I'm digging the message. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Every journey begins with just one step.
Okay.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Okay.
Because I think in the Mike Righteous, like Fighting the Booth Part 1, he was the one talking about, you know, you gotta take action and all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm digging the vibes. I'm digging the congruency. That's all I'm saying. I think it's a great message for people to hear.
It is.
Every journey begins with one step. Put one foot in front of the other. Boom. You know what I mean? Take action. Do it.
Yeah. I like how they walked out into a concert too.
Right.
Who would have thought?
Right.
I was thinking they were like, just, you know, it's like they were rehearsing and now they're performing.
Just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Yeah. I've been living in a prison in my mind. You ain't nothing like mine, but your toothpicks fly, but you cool this life, and you glamorize. Packalize, I'm with a pack of lines, you ain't playing with a pride. That's patronizing. Stupid to the young bucks, you ain't ready for the pop. Little wake on, you don't wanna get locked up, you don't wanna be a convict. Will you spat going on shit? Now you fucking have a conscience. I got this. Can't stop it there, that's how I felt for the last couple of years. Didn't wanna confront my peers, my brother just lost somebody, so I had to go back to the man that I come from my peers, and come from my peers. All this time I'm funding my career, all this time my fans are getting there, yeah. I'm stood in the middle of nowhere and I broke my back just to get here. Then the next where God just said a prayer. Still through the blood of the person I was building up on me, I'm aware. Still through the blood of the person I was building up on me, I'm aware. Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey.
Dude said, I stood in the middle of nowhere and broke my back just to get here. That's why this song is called The Journey. You know what I mean? It's all about the journey.
I mean, that's quite graphic. Like you literally in the middle of nowhere and then break your back and you're supposed to like crawl on your elbows to get here. Really?
Well, Elon Musk has said something like he would rather like have shards of glass pushed through his eye than to go through that journey again. It took him to build his companies. But that's the thing. If the destination is big enough, the journey is going to be treacherous. There's no easy journey to an epic destination. You know what I mean?
I mean, dang. They don't talk about that, though.
Right.
Like, people set all these goals to be rich and famous and all these things, but, like...
But what for?
That's intense.
You might have a valid reason to want to be rich and famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you got art like these guys, you need to be rich and famous. You need to get that out. People need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they say, be careful what you wish for.
Oh.
Because you just might get it, kind of thing. It's like, the way I interpret that is like, yeah, be careful on what you wish for, your final goal, because you just might get that whole treacherous journey that breaks your back
takes you
to get there. You just might get it. You know what I mean?
Dang.
So that goal better really be meaningful to you. It better not just be, oh, I want to be rich because I have a big ego, rich and famous. It's like, okay, enjoy that journey to a goal that's not even going to be fulfilling. But let's get back into it.
Still through the blood of the person I was building up on me, I'm prepared. Still through the blood of the person I was building up on me, I'm aware. Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Akala and righteous, the words we are uttering, feeling your spirit, the pain we are summoning, cause we came up in the suffering, now we're recovering, but it still feels like we're stuck in it. There's enough of it everywhere, sucking the life out of people with it doesn't toughen and break, crack, shatter your life. This is the journey, it ain't always nice. We have not learned to disable the lies. It seems we're determined to pay all the price, but still I murder a rhythm like no one in Britain. I'm righteous on mics when I'm spitting. Fam, don't worry about me, I am living. Just play your position and stay out of the kitchen. When the rhythm hit him in his chest, better get a vest. I'm obsessed with the stakes there on the decks. Getting vexed, it's a head stare on your neck. So who's next to express? Get it off your chest, chest that I play. It's not the right game. Fam, you were sure you're aboard the right plane? This one right here, it goes where I say. The journey has learned me to focus my pain. To spit phrases, molten ice flames. You get burned and frozen, that's only quite tame. Every journey begins with just one step.
Alright, any standout lines from that one?
Yeah, he said something like, cause we came up in the suffering, now we're recovering, but it still feels like we're stuck in it. Dang. I mean, but strangely, okay, I do feel like the journey it takes a person to get to that destination is so much more than the destination. Like, once they get there,
the journey is the destination, so to speak. You know what I mean?
It's like the stuff they went through doesn't leave them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like, you know, you take a lottery winner or something, and it's like, well, they didn't have to go through anything, so they really changed, so they lost that end goal. You know what I mean? Most of them lose all their money.
The journey is the goal. We don't view it that way, but it is. You can't separate the journey from the goal. When you're asking for a goal, you are also asking for this journey. And the journey is longer than the goal. You know what I mean?
The journey is bigger and more impactful and, like, stays within, like...
And it changes who you are.
Changes who you are. Yep. So I feel like if somebody said, oh, I want to be famous, and then it was like, you lose all your family and friends that you love, you go flat broke, and then you get really rich, but then you can't trust anyone. That's really what you're asking for. Like, you know,
well, that's part of it.
That's,
But the other part is, like, okay, how do you want to be famous? It depends on what it is. Like you're saying, my goal is to be famous. You could also say, my goal is to work 15-hour days to perfect my craft, not have time to hang out with my family and friends as much as I would want.
Yeah.
You know, I can skim off some time for them, but, you know, work, blood, sweat, tears. For years and years and years, maybe 10 years. That's my goal. And yeah, that will lead to fame. You know what I mean? But it's like...
That's so true.
Can't forget about the journey.
You can't. What a song, The Journey.
This one right here, it goes where I say. The journey has learned me to focus my pain. To spit phrases, molten ice flames. You get burned and frozen, that's only quite tame. Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Brushing my shoulders and fuck with the mothership, mama's a mothership. Now the loud to turn into mumbling, turn on my mic again. Turn on my mass and they know the fuck it is knowing I'm coming in. You just a bullet for rap and I rap, I'm a bullet for government. There's a problem with mainstream media coverage, feeding us urge, please keep them coming in. You see I'm encouraging it.
Hold up, what did he say? He said something like, you're just a problem for rap. I don't think I need him. He said something like, you're just a problem. You could double check though. You're just a problem for rap, but when I rap, I'm a problem for government.
Oh,
did I hear that right?
I didn't hear that.
Double check me on the lyrics. Did I hear that right?
He said, you just a problem for rap. When I rap, I'm a problem for government.
I heard it right. I'm earning my ear. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can we rewind it? He said there's a problem in mainstream media coverage feeding us utter shit.
Oh, snap. Okay, I didn't catch it all. I caught some, though.
Wow.
Begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Brush on my shoulders and bump with the mothership, bubble some other shit. Now the loud will just turn into mumbling. Turn on my mic again. Turn on my mask and they know the fuck it is. Know when I'm coming in. You just a bullet for rap and I rap, I'm a bullet for government. There's a problem in mainstream media coverage, feeding us out shit, please keep them coming in. This shit I'm encouraging anyone with the courage to go up against the system we're stuck up in. And if you ain't with us, then fuck it then. Become a pawn and become a king. Become a poor pretty guy with a sword of another poor. Why we fighting each other for? Why we fighting the brothers for? What's the price of a life for the young and poor? Looking online at a live phone, he's on the board. I got a son and he's four, so I'm opening doors. I want more, say I'm hopeless. Nothing's more dangerous than a man who's desperate and broken. Coming back from an injury, did you miss me? Man, I wanna throw me out like a frisbee. Where you been, fam? Wanna know where I've been, G? Yeah, tell me now. I've been alone, it's a rocky road, Kingsley. It's a rocky road in the stories that we're told. Well, I'm both from the places that we grown. You wasn't there when the rental was in arrears and the bailiffs came to the door. You wasn't there, didn't witness all the tears. In fact, have you ever been poor before? You sure? This ain't Jersey Shore. This is real life, it is totally raw. Uncles is going to prison and half of your own who's getting their dough in the kitchen. Living right next to the rich kids. One street away, but our struggle is totally different. I am the man of the house where I'm living and I'm like 11, I'm destined for prison. I never went no cause I beat the system and all of my villains is proud that I wrote tradition. You don't know shit.
He said, I am the man of the house where I'm living. I'm just 11. I'm destined for prison. He said something about I never went, though, because I beat the system or something. Dang.
Jeez.
Speak on it.
Uncles is going to prison and half of your own who's getting their dough in the kitchen. Living right next to the rich kids. One street away, but our struggle is totally different. I am the man of the house where I'm living and I'm like 11, I'm destined for prison. I never went no cause I beat the system and all of my villains is proud that I wrote tradition. You don't know shit about us. Do not discuss what you cannot suss. Sus was the start of them fucking us up. No, it wasn't just not enough luck, better suck it up. Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Every journey begins with just one step. Turn over the page, open the book, just look. Every journey begins with just one step. Put your foot in front of the other and just move. Every journey begins, every journey begins, every journey begins with just one step. Every journey begins.
Alright, man. I feel like I needed this song like 3 years ago.
Ooh.
4 years ago. You know what I mean? Some really low times, you know what I mean? Like, this is definitely a song that I feel like would get me going. You know what I'm saying? Like, every journey begins with just one step. So I don't feel like doing anything. I'm at a low point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, definitely could have used this song it was out. Just didn't know about it.
It's a hype song, too.
What you got for me?
I mean, they were saying some things.
A lot of things.
Like, I mean, even just like, you know, being a problem for governments when he's on the... I feel like art...
Right?
I feel like art is like, literally, it's like, we know, like, we wonder as a culture, like, what does revolution look like? How do we change things? How do we make an impact? Like, you know what I mean? How do you make a legacy? I feel like a lot of times art is like what people can't explain, they just feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what that was.
I feel like what a revolution would look like. Okay, my thing is, history always repeats itself, but it never looks the same. I don't think the next revolution is going to be bloody. It is possible we repeat a revolution of the past, but that's an unwinnable war. You know what I mean? I think the next revolution needs to be internal, needs to be a cultural revolution. You know what I mean? Like, the system will change when the culture changes. Mm-hmm. That's what I think it has to be. So you need stuff like this to help change the culture.
Right.
And once we revolutionize our culture without bloodshed, it'll be less bloodshed if we have an internal revolution. Mm-hmm. Then things will change.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know a lot of people want like democratic socialism and things like that, but it's like, look at just, not just black culture, look at overall just humanity. Who's going to be running democratic socialism? The same psychopaths and savages that are at the top of capitalism, and they're just going to redistribute the wealth right back to themselves, like in a lot of the socialist countries. I personally don't think it will work. I could be wrong. No shade on anybody who wants it, but it's like, that's my opinion on it. It's like the same crazy people who are at the top, the elites right now, are going to still be at the top. And they're not going to be like, oh, let's share the wealth with everybody. They're crazy. They are complete savage psychopaths.
Yeah.
So, like, I think we need a cultural revolution.
But yeah, like, we can't exactly.
Where all the real ones in the middle class and at the bottom, we're supporting each other's business and helping each other build up.
Yeah.
And that's what I want it to look like.
We can't exactly work with them as the leaders and just, like, restructure, keep the same leadership, you know?
Hey, rich psychopaths, redistribute the wealth, okay?
Yeah.
Like, not really gonna work like that.
And I love rap like this because I feel like a lot of rap music is doing the opposite of what this is doing.
Right.
Like, it's telling people, go buy a Gucci bag, go, you know, have sex with 3 people's wives, go, like, it's just literally telling you, go waste your life.
I mean, basically, go do stuff that's gonna land you in prison.
Yeah, or dead.
Or get you robbed, killed.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, go waste your life. And this is like the opposite. Like, you know, basically you're born without a purpose. Go make a purpose for yourself and do something, you know?
Yeah, and this is real talk. They're not just blowing smoke up your butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not saying, oh, just go achieve your dreams. It's easy. Like, no, it's
break
back-breakingly
your back,
hard. You
crawl
know
on your elbows for miles, 8 miles, actually.
Right.
Jeez. They make it look gruesome, but low-key, the journey that we've been on the past few years is just like, if somebody would have told us it was going to be that hard, like...
May not have signed up.
Yeah. Nah, revolution
Right.
over everything.
I mean, we definitely would have signed up, but we would have moved differently.
We would have
you know
moved
what I mean?
differently, yeah.
We would have made less mistakes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Just knowing what was coming, how hard it was going to be, I feel like we would have been a lot more frugal with our finances, too.
Definitely.
Like, we would have moved differently.
And the lows would have, even though they're equally as low, we would have expected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nothing
but I mean,
like a new
expecting
low.
something that's extremely painful doesn't really ease the pain.
That's
Like when your
true.
dad died, you expected he had cancer. I mean, she didn't get a long warning, maybe like a 2 month, about a 2.5 month warning, because you found out in October, and then he died in like January. But it's like, okay, you expected that for like 2.5 to 3 months. Did it make it any easier?
I was in denial.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, even with this warning, we're expecting pain, right, with the journey. It's not going to make it easier, but you might be better prepared for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might try to buffer yourself instead of like
Right.
going into
It's
it
still going to hurt.
naked.
It's still going to suck.
Yeah.
But would you rather be in the middle of nowhere and break your back just like that? Or would you rather at least have a bottle of water in your pocket when you break your back in the middle of nowhere? The pain is the same,
Right.
but you're better prepared. You know what I mean?
You got some water.
Water, some crackers, a snack. But
Maybe
my back still hurts.
A sun hat. It's going to help you so much.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
All right, good suggestion. If you guys have any more suggestions, leave them down in the comments. If you want to help the channel grow, like and subscribe. All right, yeah. I mean, we appreciate all the comments, all the love you guys show in the comments. That's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. You to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.